Hey health students, this is my first installment of health by video. Just wanted to give you a little bit of the scoop of how things are going to work here. You're probably going to be able to notice here how things are scaled back quite a bit less than how they would have been if we would be sitting right here in the classroom. But I want to try to do the best I can to reduce the amount of anxiety that you have as far as getting your schoolwork done versus the worries of being stuck at home and not being able to come to school and see your friends, or worrying about people's health and how this pandemic is affecting everybody. So you're going to notice how things are scaled back, but still important. So I've tried to do things just a little bit differently, just to make it a little easier for you. So I'm going to run through a couple of things here that are going to be important to you. So for week one, or as it says on your Schoology page, week 9, that is the week of March 30th through April 3rd. So that is the week that we are starting. Just some things that I want to highlight here for you. There's a few videos of the day that fall in there, and the first one I've kind of separated so that you don't have to watch all of it on day one. Feel free to do that if you want to, but I've tried to separate some videos so that you're only getting a little bit of it and still having enough time to get into the content. We're trying to keep you to anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes of working on what you need to work on for my class. I don't want you to have to spend more time than that per day. You can do it all in one day if you want to. I'm going to open up the folders, like I said on my sheet there, before you got into week 9 on my Schoology page. I'm going to open everything up on Monday morning for the entire week. All of the assignments that are going to be in there, all the content that's going to be in there, all the videos that's going to be in there is going to be there all week long until Saturday at noon. And that's when I'll close everything and get all the grades kind of corrected and assignments corrected and sunk over to campus. So you could essentially do it all in one day and then not have to worry about it again, or go day by day. And I guess my best suggestion to you would be to go day by day, just because I feel like it's a little bit of time each day. You don't have to buckle down and work for 2 hours to try to get everything done. So the way I try to set it up is that I don't want you to spend more than 20 minutes-ish or a day to try and get through what I have for you on my Schoology page. So week 1, or week 9 I should say, for this first week that you're going to deal with starting on March 30th, there's a video that I've split into 2 days, and it's actually it's an interesting video. I call it the John Cisnia video. So watch the first 10 minutes of that the first day, which would be Monday, and then Tuesday watch the last 9 minutes or so, and you can kind of see how that ends. But it actually is kind of a spin-off of what was made a bunch of years ago. I'm sure some of you have seen the movie or the documentary Super Size Me. This is a spin-off of that to try and prove that even though this guy can eat only McDonald's for 540 consecutive meals, doesn't mean that if he's going to be unhealthy if he does that. If he chooses correctly, if he eats the right amount of calories, if he exercises right, he could actually benefit from doing that. And it's kind of interesting. You'll get a good kick out of watching that video. So watch the first 10 minutes of that video on Monday. Watch the last 9 minutes of it on Tuesday. There'll be another video that you bump into on Wednesday that's called Are Athletes Really Getting Bigger, Better, Faster, and Stronger? That's a little bit longer video. It's about 14 or 15 minutes. You can separate that if you want to, but you'll get into that. It's kind of interesting thoughts and theories of why athletes have been getting stronger and faster as technology has kind of changed. So it's kind of interesting. It's a video of the day that I would have showed you anyways. And then on the last day, or on Thursday, you'll watch two short videos. The first one is how to read nutritional labels, and the second one is when you feel lazy. So kind of some interesting videos for you to watch there, but all of the videos that I put up here are optional unless I tell you they're not optional, okay? The most important stuff that you need to get done is the content from our text that's in there, and we'll talk about that here as we kind of move on. So keep in mind there'll always be, unless we're not doing anything from the text, which there'll be some things coming up in the future where we're going to do it from someplace else rather than the text, but there'll always be the text PDF and the textbook text that's there. And you can choose to use one or the other or both. That's something that you should do every day, is read through that PowerPoint as if I was reading through it with you, or if I was giving you a work day. But each day, aside from that, if there's a video of the day, there'll be the text, PDF or text, and then there will be a check-in assignment. And lots of times you have more than one assignment in my class. Lots of times you have a worksheet, you have a journal, you have a quiz. I'm going to have you do one of the following. You're not going to have to do all of them. Okay, so the check-in assignment, and you'll see this because you always want to read the outline pages inside each folder just so you know what you should do. Make sure you read the outline pages, but it'll pinpoint what you should do on those days. But the check-in assignments will consist of either a notes worksheet that you can fill out that you've done before in class, or a quiz that goes with that particular lesson, which you know is only about anywhere from 5 to 10 questions, or another assignment that I may attach that might be completely different, but it'll be an assignment. They'll all have the same amount of point value. It'll be 5 points. Or it'll be a discussion in journals. So you're not going to have all of those things. You'll have one of those things each day to do in here. And again, I don't want it to exceed, too much more than about 20 minutes. Okay, I want to try and keep things as low level stress as possible on you guys. You got enough to deal with right now, and I don't want you to have to deal with too much crud. Okay, so getting into a little bit of what you're going to learn about here in Chapter 10, and that's what you're getting into here right away, is we're getting into the nutrition unit. And actually I had you guys download the application of MyFitnessPal, and I had a big project that you were going to do if we were in school, and it's just going to be too difficult to do that project to gain and gather points from that. I will, however, allow you to utilize that app, though, if you feel free to use that app to log what you've been eating throughout the course of the day, and you can kind of get an idea of how many calories are you consuming, how many carbs, how many proteins, how much fats are you consuming. You can do that on your own. I was going to have a project for you to do, and that's what we talked about on the last day of class, but I'm trying to scale things back, and like I said, I don't want to overwhelm you. So, but Chapter 10 is nutrition, and Chapter 10's focus it focuses on the role of nutrition in health and explains how to make healthful choices, food choices, and how to handle food safely. So these are the biggest pieces that you're going to learn from all of the lessons that go into Chapter 10. Lesson 1 that falls in there, the first one is just choosing the right kind of foods, but also understanding what influences us to eat the foods that we eat. So that falls into Chapter 1. Okay, you get into Chapter 2, you're going to learn about the six types of nutrients for good health. Those are carbs, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and waters. And you're going to learn about what their jobs are. Okay, that's all going to fall into Lesson 2. You know, Lesson 3, you're going to learn about My Plate. And that's just, it's a philosophy that can help us make informed food choices, guidelines for healthful eating and physical activity. And in that lesson also teaches us to balance food and physical activity in terms of calorie consumption and calorie expenditure. So we're balancing that out. Okay, so that's Lesson 3. And Lesson 4, you're going to learn about a little bit about knowing how to read food labels and knowing how to handle food safely. So those things will all fall in there, and it's kind of, that would be the particular day where I told you there was a video that talks about reading food labels. When you feel lazy, that video as well too falls in there too, because it kind of shows you that eating the right kind of foods should produce you to be more physically active, and producing you to be more physically active helps with calorie expenditure. So that all falls into that. But that will be Chapter 10 And there's 4 lessons that fall into that. But like I said, the videos that are there are optional for you to watch, but they are good. And we were going to watch them as videos of the day in class. And the assignments that fall in there, remember, you only have one check-in assignment to do a day, but check out the outline page so that you know which one you should be doing. And I will correct everything on Saturday and get everything over on Sunday so that I can repost the new folder for the next week. I will, however, be hosting, and this is optional as well too, I'll be hosting a Google Meet conference on Wednesday, so keep your eyes open on the Schoology updates page so that you can see what hour or what time you should be joining that conference, as to what hour you have class. So I'm going to try to do this so that if you're going to conference, you're going to join in, with your normal group of people that you would join in a class with. So pay attention to what hours are what. If you have any questions, feel free to email, send me a remind. I did put up a remind 101 for each hour. If you have a cell phone, you could use that so that I could send out text through remind 101 to everybody. Or you can hook it up on your iPad as well too. Parents can feel free to be involved in that remind as well too. But that just is another form of me being able to send out announcements to everybody. So feel free to join that remind so that you can get any announcements that are sent out. All right? I hope this first week gets off to a good start. I honestly would much rather be here in the classroom with you guys, and I'm sure you know that. Everybody in the building misses their students very much, and as you guys know, I told you this is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world to do, is to sit in here with you guys and discuss and talk about all of the great things that we have to offer here in our health class, but not only that, just being able to create the relationships that we create. So this is hard on me too, but I'm sure it is hard on you guys. But we're going to get through this thing, and I hope that we're back here before the end of the school year. But if not, we'll continue to collaborate this way. So any questions, please get a hold of me. Take care, be safe, stay healthy.